Hello, and hello, people in, and welcome to another Wraggys live beer review. So, yeah, bloody Emmerdale's on again, and hate Emmerdale. So, and that tells me there's an email just gone out. So today, reviewing this fella from North Brewing Company, Transmission. It's shown up. I think it was in Morrison's pretty recently. And I went into Morrison's the other day, and they've already got it on a reduced to clear, which is, what's that about? I mean, usually I know they only last so many months nowadays in the grand scheme of things, but to be kicking it off pretty quickly. So, Transmission IPA. What it says is, East Coast meets West Coast in this soft and juicy IPA with deep tropical flavour and crisp pine bitterness. 6.9%. North Brewing Company, obviously their iconic design there, that little bit there. Good evening, Chris. How do? Or how foo? Hey. And yeah, North Brewing Company. Coming to Nottingham Craft Beer Festival this year. Should be interesting. Be interesting to see what beers they bring. Hopefully more than some of the others that came last year that were quite disappointing, some of the other breweries that came. I think at any beer festival you're at, you've got to be bringing your top beers because your name's there. If you bring in crap beers and no one goes to you, then you've wasted your time going to a beer festival. Well, you know, that's my opinion, at least, for what that is. So, third beer of the night and another light-coloured beer. I did a Neon Raptor beer review earlier, which was 4.4% orangey-looking beer, tropical beer. TOOL Pale Ale. And now this, so I'm due a dark beer at some stage. Good evening, Thomas Mater. How are you? So, Transmission IPA. And as you can see, orangey pour. You don't like the Belgian Dipper from Lidl. I've not been to Lidl. I've not been to buy beers for a while, to be honest. Trying to run this beer wall down and trying to condense it to like one row. Birthday's coming up, so I'm trying to knock off the beers, as it were. And it's a good thing, really. It is cold. It is bloody cold in the shed. Oh, the festival at Lidl. Ah. So maybe I've not been and seen the festival, right? We was in Lidl the other night, but maybe the festival wasn't on. I know Barry, all the beer, no idea. I know he picked up some beers from Lidl to review at some stage. This is the thing, isn't it? It's to review at some stage. I mean, sometimes you can just have too many beers. Local beers are all right because you can review them whenever you feel like it. But beers that are in beer festivals, you know, you basically got to drink them and review them pretty damn quick to be relevant. Certainly while the Lidl Beer Festival's on. So orangey pour, whitehead, East Coast meets West Coast. So this will be interesting. And as usual, tropical nose on this fella. Good morning, Sam. Morning walk to work. Oof. What time do you walk? What time is it over there? 6 o'clock-ish. And one of these days, I'll look at the time and then say, oh, yeah, it's that time. Thankfully, I'm off now for the weekend. I've got some gardens to do, but I'm actually off work. So it's nice. You know, it's nice to have a break. Peanut brittle looks nice. Ooh. Might have to nip in. Might not know. Good evening, Christopher. And you get them, you drink them. Hey, Thomas. Fair play, mater. Fair play. At one stage, I had a ridiculous amount of beers in here. And, you know, I was just buying and buying and buying, and it's all right. But then beers start going out of date, and you don't get the best out of the beer. So yeah, orangey pour on this. Subtle tropical nose. It's subtle. Now it does say there's a pine bitterness, so we'll see how that goes. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, there's a good 150 still. And I've cut down my beer reviews as well, so I'm not even reviewing as many beer these days. 4:30. Wow, that's early. And you walk to work. I mean, to be fair, I get up at 5:30 for work. If I'm at the faraway location, I'm leaving the house at 6:10. If I'm at the near location, I'm leaving the house about 6:30. Unless there's some pallets that I know are there, and then I'll go and see if the pallets are there. But more often than not these days, everyone's beating me to the pallets, so I need to go early Sunday morning and have a nosy. So yeah, tropical, nice bitiness with this. Certainly a nice pine at the back end, not too harsh on the pine. I've had some pine beers. Stone's go-to IPA, if you've had that before, anyone. The pine on that is just ridiculous. It's not a beer you should be drinking in a full pint, because off till Tuesday, yeah. Apart from some, I've got to do some gardening on little old ladies' gardens that I took on, and but that's a little bit of cash in hand, and that gets me to the likes of Totally Brewed and all that. Oh, Thomas, mate, if we could, automatic promotion would be brilliant. If we'd have beat bloody Luton, we would be in front, or on the same points at least, as Bournemouth. We need Bournemouth to slip up. I thought the other night they were going to slip up. They were 3-0 down. They got back to 3-3. But we beat Fulham. Fulham are going to be, if they keep Mitrovic, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Premiership next year. It really is doable. And the transformation from 7 games in, bottom of the league, or, definite relegation team, to now, wow, those 20 points, potential 21 points that we could have had, would have been very, very, you can imagine, it would have been very, very interesting. We'd have been up there with Fulham for the Championship. I pray to God that he can keep this going, pray to get there. It's been a long while since Forest have had out really to sing about and dance about, and the support has been unbelievable this year. As a fan of Forest, the support's just been off the charts. I can't afford to go. I can't afford to spend 30 quid a bleeding match, plus bus fares, and then drink, obviously, because you're not going down there not to have a flipping drink, are you? Yeah, Johnson, Spence, Zinchenko, he's been brilliant. Garner from Man United, he's been brilliant. And let's be fair, some of these players would not get into Man United. Spence didn't get into Middlesbrough. Or was it Middlesbrough? I don't know, no idea where it was from. And for them to get in, they've come to some players just do well at a certain place. Sell your bottles, no chance. I like my beers. I'm hoping to pick up some craft beer this weekend, some top craft beer. The micro pub we're supposed to be going to tomorrow on Saturday. I keep thinking Friday. Saturday's tomorrow. It's bloody Friday tomorrow. But the craft beer micro pub we're going on Saturday, they've got some nice selection of beers, and I keep saying I'm going to buy some from them, so I need to. just to let other people know that they sell that as well as you know, and a local brewery that I really like. Although I kind of dropped myself in it the other day. Never noticed. So I got a whiff of vanilla then, funnily enough. It's amazing what you get off beers. You know, when you're not paying attention and all of a sudden you get a whiff of something, slight whiff of vanilla on there. Really liking coming back on doing lives, but trying to do beer review lives. I'm not like some of the others who can just talk and rattle on. I like having to do a beer review and actually, there we go, and actually have some sort of, I think it must be like an autism thing. I know my son's got autism and I'm sure I've got the same. I know my mum, she had certain traits. I think autism is more widespread than you ever imagine, or at least parts of it are, at least. So, looking forward to seeing what these guys bring to Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. I keep prodding the local breweries. No, I didn't do one. Oh, mate, this morning I was going to do one. I walked into work, so I did some videos the other day of that 100-foot tree being took down, and where he's up on a cherry picker, the bloody thing was wobbling 100 foot up. I'm looking at him and it's given me severe anxiety, and I was really ill that day because I was watching him and fucking hell, he's wobbling away on this, and I'm thinking, fuck's sakes. And I thought, don't wobble it too much because you're going to fucking snap the metal. You know, everything's got a point where you can do damage. And anyway, the flip side of it is it's all down on the floor and then there's the mess to clean up. Jesus effing Christ. So they got a stump grinder, grinded out the big stump from that tree and the two other stumps that hadn't been previously grinded out. The fucking mess this morning. I shifted tons of soil and chippings together. Beautiful compost, to be fair. And I mulched loads of the borders. Cheers, matey. Spud peelings, yeah, spud peelings. It is balmy what you can do, I tell you. You know, I have always known about potato peelings that if you do your, oh, fucking hell, I've got tons of the bleeding stuff at work. And good evening, Adam. So, yeah, shifted tons of stuff. It took me all the way to 1 o'clock to get it cleaned. And for next winter, we have got a shed load of wood for next winter. And the tree people who did it have tipped it. And it's, as a gardener, for those who are gardeners, there are two things that piss you off. One, builders, because builders try and dump their crap, bits of concrete round the back of shrubs where they think no one's noticed. I'm a gardener. You notice because you're trying to keep everything clean. You notice when somebody's tipping bloody brick rammel round the back of a shrub. You know, dig a bloody hole, no one notices. The second thing is those who work on trees. People who work on trees, and I've worked with lots of tree people, tree workers, and they are of the opinion that they, because they work on trees, are somewhat better than a gardener. You know, everyone's a worker. You are what you are. And you heard them the other day, and they're chatting away. Good evening, Henry. Yeah, Adam, glass in beds. I mean, bloody hell. And so they've gone and tipped all their wood and chip-ins. And I'm great for people tipping wooden chip-ins because the wood can be used for burning. The chip-ins can be used to stop for weed suppression. But they're gone and tipped on top of flowers. And I'm thinking to myself, do you not look where you're bloody tipping? So that's my job next Friday, because Wednesday I'll be mowing. Next Friday, my job is to sort out a lot of tonnage of trees being cut down. So the really, really big stuff I'm going to make, we've got a big bank. So I'm at the bottom of the bank, I'm actually going to make a bed, and that will be the edge of the bed, the trees. So, but the other stuff, the stuff that's easily doable, we're going to keep that. We're going to dry it out, chop it down. Job's a good one. Bish, bash, bosh, firewood. That's the open aspirations anyway. You know, it's the open aspirations. So I'm meeting up with Shane from, well, they're both in Sutton, Ashfield, to be fair. And we're meeting up in Nottingham again next Sunday. So I'm hoping to do some beer reviews with them. We had a good, they're good lads, and we get on really, really well. Just shows you that the beer community is an amazing community, as long as you're not steaming and you're at a beer festival. People are talking to you and you don't even remember. So apologies for that. Shane, good evening, mate. Just thought about you, funnily enough. And just saying that we've got, there's a good friendship between us, and going to pubs next Sunday, it'll be great. Chit chatting at pubs, beer reviews, and I'm just going to do it, sod it, and just do live beer reviews from pubs, and the pubs will have to put up with us, and we won't care when there's three of us, and if there's music in the background, then I'll get the copyright notice, but who gives a monkeys about copyright? They take a hit off you, but it's not like I get a massive amount of hits anyway, YouTube views anyway, so it doesn't really bloody matter. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's on the radar. We don't want to do Neon Raptor again because we've already done it, haven't we? It'd be nice to go to some of the other local pubs in Nottingham, like Cock and Oop, Barrel Drop, Angel Microbrewery. I've never actually been in the Angel Microbrewery, so that'll be interesting. Keen's Head, which is a Castle Rock pub, fantastic pub, lots of stuff in there. And there are some amazing different pubs to the ones we've already been in. The canal side, you walk in the canal side, and there's two barges in the pub. I jest not. You walk in, you walk over a little bridge, and there's two canal barges below you, and it's like, what the hell? And obviously, it's next to the canal, hence the name, obviously. But there was some belting pubs, one or two beers, or even one beer in each pub, depending on the pub and depending on what beers they've got. Yeah, they have had them. Sadly, the Birmingham date is next to my son's birthday. Yeah, sadly. Then Jim said about coming up to Nottingham the day after or something, but Neon Raptor's not open till Thursday, or Liquid Light, them sort of places, Thursday or Friday for both of them. Black Iris rather. So yeah, they're both open on Thursdays. They are a brewery till that time. One day we will meet up again. Chris, Nottingham's pubs. A lot of pubs in Nottingham. It's quite a big city, really. A lot of students in Nottingham. So you get the lager pubs, and then you get the pubs that are doing the craft stuff. The pubs that are doing the craft stuff, you know, some of the lager drinkers frequent them, but most of the time they're all in the pubs where everyone's scrapping. And that's good because I don't want to go in them pubs. I've been in them pubs for donkey's years and I try and keep away. You know, I don't want that. You know, I don't go to pubs for any argy-bargy. Have a good day at work, mate. Let's hope it goes quickly for you. So now the air's got to it. 20 minutes in, the air is going to get to it. Quite a nice, hazy, orangey pour. East Coast meets West Coast. North Brewing Company, 6.9% transmission. And like I say, I was a bit disappointed in Morrison's because I went into a Morrison's and it's already on a reduced to clear. That's weird. It's only just come in. It's been in about a month. I know that because I got it and reviewed a lot of the beers quite obviously not quick enough. Whether it's just one local Morrison's or all, strange. Why would you have craft beers in only for a month? Although one of my local Morrison's had North Star 2 when it first came out, they kept reducing it down to £2. And it was great for me because it's like you go in and you think, oh, North Star 2, £2 off price. And it's like, get in the basket. And yeah, that was nice. They never did it with North Star 3. Obviously, somebody got a bollocking. Yeah, Chris, there's mine, Morrison's had it. There was one Northern Monk anyway. An ice cream pale ale in a small can. I've seen it. No, I've seen it on the internet, but I've not seen it live, you know, in person to buy. But yeah, we're in that season again, aren't we? Where there's just a ridiculous amount of beers out there, you know, to pick up. New beers across all the different supermarkets. It's an expensive time to be a fan of beer, and let's be fair, beers that go to supermarkets, the breweries don't earn a lot of them beers. It's all about getting your name out there. For those wanting to support their breweries, and certain breweries especially, going out and buying their beer on cask or keg certainly pays more. Funny, isn't it? You know, you'd think that a beer that's in supermarkets that's selling by the shed load would be good, but it's not. It's very much the other. It's all down to, and I spoke to the head brewer at Navigation Brewery, and he says to me, on a pallet they made literally a couple of quid on a pallet of beer. And when you think how big a pallet is, that's bloody ridiculous. But it's all about getting their name out. So people see their name, then they look at the other beers that they do and go from there. Yeah, Chris, I know, mate. It does your head in, doesn't it? All of a sudden, there's a shed load of new stuff out there. And it's like, I can't keep up with all this stuff. There's just too many new beers. And this time last year, I remember this time last year, Asda, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, they all had new beers at the same time, and there were certain breweries who had a very similar Siren Craft was one. They had a very similar beer in all them different supermarkets. They had like a Californian IPA, and it was a slightly different Californian IPA in each one. And it's like, oh, for God's sakes, it's the same beer. Well, it probably wasn't, but it sounded the same, which kind of puts you off. It's like, well, why do I need to review this when it sounds the same from a different supermarket? Let's hope that Marks and Spencer's have upped their game, because when I went to Marks and Spencer's a couple of months ago, last time I went in, their craft beer range was pitiful. It was a pure shadow of what it used to be. I went in and they've got their own brand about 6 wide, and it's like, yeah, but you could have had 3 or 4 different beers there. Ooh, without nuts or melon. That's tough, mate. That really is tough. I would say somewhere like Trembling Madness, possibly the best one. But you'd probably have to message them and say, look, I've got an allergy, melon or nuts. What can you advise? Or do you have allergy notices on your site? Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's very tough for people with allergies, especially people, peanuts and that, it's scary, isn't it? If you've got them, that certain thing where you can't have nuts. Yeah, especially if it causes a reaction. I mean, I remember that girl a few years ago who died, sadly, because of some restaurant or whatever it was did not put down there was nuts in it, and she had an allergic reaction and sadly passed. And as a parent, it's the worst ever thing you could imagine in your life. And obviously for those with allergens, it's scary situation. I think Trembling Madness, of all the big national shops, Trembling Madness are kings. I think low cost beer or the best place for beers that are cheaper, that may be bought from different reasons, because shops have gone out, lost their businesses. Breweries have got too much stock and they need to get rid of it. Low cost is brilliant for that. And so Trembling Madness, low cost beer, and for me locally, adventure beer, and that's because it's all local stuff. You've also got places like Yorkshire Craft Ale, and they again, if you're in that area, they're very similar to adventure beer, where they stock all the Yorkshire stuff. And these shops that sell all the local stuff together is brilliant, because you can go there, spend a flipping fortune, and you're not traipsing all the way around different breweries. And got to think about petrol these days. Petrol, and it's about time this government turned around to the energy companies and says, while this cost of living is like it is, petrol, energy, we are going to have a windfall tax on you that will, when it starts to come down, it will be took off. But anything above a certain price, we're going to windfall tax you to give back to the poor people who are going to struggle like hell this winter. It's got to be done, hasn't it? And I think the more that people on the likes of YouTube, Facebook, social media needs to sort themselves out, join together, and force the government, not just this government, every bloody government, to sort themselves out. There is no need in this country for the gas and oil to be that expensive. No need. What happens in the world does not need to happen in the UK. It needs to stop that shit. I need to do a Trembling Madness order. Yeah, it's the one shop I have not actually had an order from, to be honest. I did do Beers of Europe, but they're up a certain beer reviewer's arse, so I won't go back there again. Yeah, they've got his name all over their website, and I think, I can't be done with that. I want to go to somewhere where they're not just all about one person. It's all about everyone, And that's the way for me. €85 to fill up diesel today. Thomas, it's ridiculous. Funnily enough, I'm only putting 20 quid in a week. And I've only been putting 20 quid in a week over the whole duration of this silliness. Albeit, I've been doing a lot of 4-day weeks, to be fair. Elon Musk. Yeah, I've seen that, mate. Yeah. Is it Telsa, whatever it is. Yeah, Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Facebook have banned me for 3 days for calling myself a twat. Fucking idiots. I shared a comment. I shared a post on social media about the beer wall when I first built it. Barry said something, or the beer no idea. And I called myself a twat and got banned for 3 days for calling myself a twat. Fuck knows what they're playing at. Pisses me off. I agree, Chris. You know, you've got to, it's like with your heating, until this all blows over, and will it blow over? God knows. You know, is it the governments of the world? Because let's be fair, the governments of the world are not as clear cut as we all think they are. You know, there is a hierarchy. And it just makes you wonder if you know, the high prices are there for you to cut your consumption, for you to stop driving, for you to stop being reliant on energy. And it does make you wonder. It really does. So, I'm going to have to knock off in a minute because got to cook dinner. Pineapple Express IPA, Tiny Rebel. Cheers. So, yeah, hazy orange pour on this Whitehead. Lovely tropical aroma, 6.9% transmission by North Brewing Company. It's daft, isn't it, Chris? Hey, you can't have a joke. Banter is what makes the world go round. If someone complains about what you're saying, fair dues. If someone takes offence with what you're saying, but for Facebook to say we're not having that, and it's like, but I know what you let go. You're full of ads. You purposely put your ads, and yeah, it's disgusting. So, everyone who's liked today, 28 likes on a review. Strange, but yeah, thank you. Cheers. And East Coast wheats, West Coast, nice pine bitterness to this. Yeah, it was quite nice. It's enjoyable. Not a bad beer at all. 6.9% for me. A good 4.3 out of 5. And hopefully it's still available. A whack of pine towards the end then. So you drink it, you get so much pine. As the air gets to it while it's in your mouth, another pine. And that's it for this beer review. Thank you all for joining tonight. It's great to be back on the lives. I will try 7:30 most nights to do a live, and then probably on a Sunday do an hour and do like a Wraggys Taproom sort of thing. Thank you everyone for joining in. Cheers all, and have a good night. And now I need a piss, so I'm going to go. Cheers. You don't not everyone says that, do they? Yeah, but I don't care what everyone else thinks anyway. Hey. In that way anyway. But I do need a piss.